Corpse Party is a horror game that 2 weeks ago I had 63 hours played, and in that time frame I was able to get 1 achievement. How is this possible? 5 out of the 12 achievements you can get just by finishing the 10-hour game, 6 if you decide to skip all the dialogue. To answer this, I have a story from 2019. I recently bought my Epic gaming PC. The last time I had a PC was when I was shouting very inappropriate comments at the newly added ninjas in Club Penguin. That was 2008. Needless to say that my PC knowledge was lacking during this time. So after I bought this game and another, I'm not entirely sure if I can say the name of that one on YouTube, I played the game. And after my first session in the game, I thought, oh shit. My smooth, possibly dyslexic brain thought that if I closed the game, all of the 2 hours I spent playing the game would be lost. For over 60 hours, I refused to close the game and kept my PC running with it. Another fun fact about 16-year-old me is that he is what you might call a pansy. Instead of playing the game in those 60 hours, I sat in my chair like a little baby with a sipping cup, because I was too scared to play the game. The pixels are scary, and they might give me nightmares. But what about the game itself? It's pretty good. The game starts like any other horror game, with our main characters being very dumb. Our cast of characters, Satoshi, Naomi, Ayumi, Yoshi, Seiko, Yuka, Morishige, and Yui, are having a heartfelt send-off to their friend Mayu, as she is transferring to a new school. To properly do this, they decide to do a ritual called Sachiko Ever After, to ensure that each of them stay friends as well as have good luck later in life. The basis of this ritual was founded upon a tragic death of a child from 30 years ago. Now it may seem like a bad idea in hindsight to perform a ritual like that just for some better RNG in life, but the upsides make it worth it. Until the earth starts caving in. Chapter 1 follows Naomi and Seiko as we are introduced to the hellish elementary school of Heavenly Host. Heavenly Host was an elementary school that was closed and demolished on account of the students having a bad habit of dying. But I guess the school won the gulag or something because it came back as a spectral plane where multiple dimensions and time periods exist simultaneously. Naomi is an okay character, she gets better later in the game, but Seiko is a certified classic. Seiko has a really weird obsession with ass. About half of her dialogue involves ass in some way. She says, and I quote, "That's one sight you got there, that booty you got." She once left my party to go put some ass cream on her cheeks. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the poop I found in this bucket came out of her ass. Needless to say, she's my favorite character so far. I hope nothing tragic happens to her in the near future. For the most part, you just kind of screw around and explore in this chapter. The gameplay of this game is just pressing enter to solve some puzzles, meanwhile you're being chased by some random things every once in a while. I did find some spaghetti on a wall once, that was kinda cool, but I also lost Seiko about 20 minutes ago, so I decided to go look for her where any other ass pervert would be. The bathroom. Fuck. I think I earned a new achievement. Chapter 2 follows Yui, Yoshiyuki, and Ayumi, but not for long because Yui got killed by some random cabinet, so we follow these two instead. Much like the first chapter, the main thing you do here is just kind of explore and solve random puzzles. But, instead of being chased by some random glob in this chapter, I got chased by ghost children who I thought were the strongest thing in the game when I first met them. This little shit spawn camped me for like 10 minutes. But then I remembered that he was a child whose mental fortitude let him get stuck on the game's geometry. I then found more ghost children spawn camping one of my friends. This is where another ghost, not a child this time, gave me an objective for the first time in the game, which was fixing a doll. I fixed the doll and gave it to the ghost kids, but they wanted V-Bucks instead, so they took out their anger on my friend. Guys, I figured out what they made the spaghetti out of. Chapter 3 follows Satoshi and his little sister Yuka. Yuka is an okay character, but I really liked Satoshi. That surprised me because the first time I saw him, he sounded like a Fortnite game lobby. But he became a de facto leader pretty quick, so it was a nice change. Like the first 2 chapters, you just explore and solve some random puzzles. I found Morishige, and he was really into his phone for some reason, probably had some cool games on there, and then the school decided to duplicate itself. The new school was pretty cool, but Satoshi didn't like it and left, leaving Yuka alone to be chased by Morishige. This is a very unique chase sequence in the game because all the other ones will either kill you or damage you if you get caught, but all Morishige did was emote spam. Yuka eventually met a new character, Kizami. He immediately cares for Yuka and seems to be an all-around normal person. Have you heard of the hit new game called Starfield? At the end of the last chapter, Satoshi got TP'd to Naomi, who was picking up very bad behaviors from one of her friends. This chapter follows 2 separate teams who have actual goals for the first time in the game. Team A is looking for Yuka, meanwhile Team B is looking for a way to escape, because why would anyone want to stay in a murderous ghost school? Team A doesn't really accomplish anything, they just go watch some movies on a TV they found. Team B, however, makes progress towards their goal. They found out that if they give closure to the children's souls, that they can leave. The way they do this is by giving back their tongues that were taken from them in death. Yeah, this story is really fucking dark in case you didn't pick it up yet. Team B actually accomplishes their goal, but by a twist of fate, they decided to head back to their friends. Here I learned that the ghost children weren't killed by some weirdos like I originally thought, but rather a super ghost child who died 30 years ago named Sachiko. Team B heads back for their friends as Yuka is on the run from Kizami, who says my favorite line in the game.
Run! Rabbit to run!
This random guy didn't really like that line, however. The game goes back to Morishige, where we learn he really likes Mayu because of an event from a few months ago. She saved him from the tragic fate of becoming a Reddit mod. But as the saying goes, you can take the mod out of Reddit, but you can't take the Reddit out of the mod. So he became a necrophile and really likes this picture of spaghetti he took. If you remember from a few chapters ago, the spaghetti wasn't exactly ethically made. As soon as he learns this, he loses his mind, and that's the last I ever saw of him. After Team A is done watching Netflix, they find Yuka in some random quarter, and all teams search for a way to leave Heavenly Host. Team B finds a way for everyone to escape, and they also find Yui, who apparently didn't die to the cabinet, but she does die to falling damage. Team A finds this cool basement, and by cool I mean fucking horrifying. This basement was also home to a maze that I spent 20 minutes in because I don't think I have object permanence.
What's this? Oh, god damn it. I'm gonna be here a while.
After some more PTSD-inducing events, all teams meet up and confront the super ghost Sachiko. She dies after her name is chanted 6 times and all teams make it back home, but with a twist. Everyone who died at Heavenly Host is erased from existence, and the only people who can remember them are the 5 survivors, making them contemplate whether or not their friends truly existed. Overall, I'd say the game is good. I would definitely recommend it if you're into horror and Japanese games, but it has its issues. The tone of the game is constantly flip-flopping. One minute it'll be grotesque horror, and the next some random kid will be gnawing on my arm. With Chapter 1, this kind of tonal mismatch was fine. You could justify it as a coping mechanism for the characters, but after a while it just gets really weird. Chapter 3 had an entire arc of helping somebody go to the bathroom, and yeah, you can do that in a game, but why would you do that in a game? Despite this, I'd give it a top 5 for games that featured Japanese students running from murderers that may or may not be ghosts, which apparently isn't a small category.